Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a sun view? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a sun view is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with SunView and see the difference.
All right, on to another issue where many of you may well disagree with the government. The Treaty Principles Bill has now been reported back from Select Committee. So it's had its first reading, it's gone to a Select Committee, which has heard hundreds of submissions and received thousands more, many of them pro forma submissions organised by political activists designed to give a set of numbers that mislead the public as to the feelings about the Treaty Principles Bill. The Treaty Principles Bill, introduced by the ACT Party, would seek to define the treaties of the principle of Waitangi as they apply to the provision of government services, as they apply to other pieces of legislation, and as they apply to the laws of New Zealand. It was always going to be controversial. Those who support a Māori revolution and change in this country want to be able to redefine the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi, which in my opinion do not exist, at will. And certainly our activist judiciary have redefined what a principle of the treaty is without any consultation with the New Zealand public. So in so far as that is concerned, I thought it was a good bill. But the Prime Minister said he was never going to support it past a second reading. The report back of the Select Committee has suggested it does not proceed. Overwhelming number of submissions against the bill, and it is basically in its death throes. So what does that mean for those who do want some change, some clarification of the treaty in New Zealand life? One of those groups is Hobson's Pledge, and its leader, Don Brash, joins us now. Don, good morning.
Good morning, Sean.
Well, this thing is dying, the Treaty Principles Bill, in an inevitable death, is it not?
Well, it's certainly dying in its current form at this time, no question about that. And I don't know whether to be angry or sad about the fact that the National Party is not willing to support it. I mean, when I became a National Party MP in 2002, Bill English was the leader. And he gave his first major regional speech that year to the Lower North Island Conference, in which he said the next national government will scrap separate Maori electorates. In the middle of that year, he had a national conference in Christchurch, and the slogan across the platform was "One Law for All." So the National Party's tradition has been in favour of a single standard of citizenship. Its constitution talks about an equal standard of citizenship, and yet, faced with a bill of the kind they've got in front of them now, which basically says the government's got the right to govern, and we've all got equal rights, the National Party runs for the hills. I mean, it's as I say, I don't know if they're angry or sad.
When is the actual vote on the second reading going to be?
We don't know that for sure, but we believe it'll be this week, and we think that because I think the Prime Minister will want to get it out of the way before the long 3-week recess. So we're expecting it this week. As you say, it's likely to be voted down because all other parties in Parliament say they're opposed to it, but for the life of me, I can't understand why.
In answer to a question from me some months ago, Mr. Luxon said there was absolutely nothing about the Treaty Principles Bill he liked.
It's mind-blowing.
Do you think he truly represents the feelings of National Party members and MPs?
Well, he clearly doesn't. Well, I can't speak for all the MPs, obviously, but we know some MPs certainly who support that bill. Can't say so publicly, of course, but they support it. The public clearly support it. National Party supporters certainly. We did a poll just a few months back, and when you ask them what they think about those three principles, the overwhelming majority of people who have an opinion say we support those. Very few say they oppose it. Because how can you honestly say we oppose the government having the right to govern? How can you say we object to having New Zealanders having the same rights? Well, some people do object to that, but they're a tiny minority, surely. So,
and we also see a political party in TPM which continues, in my understanding, it has told the Speaker directly it does not recognise the authority of Parliament or the sovereignty of the House. It refuses to appear before the Privileges Committee, or supposedly, I mean, it has no right to have a lawyer there. That's not inherent, but it seems to be. And we saw yesterday, I think, on some TVNZ program with Jack Tame, the leader of the big hikoi against the treaty bill saying, yeah, this is all about a separate parliament and a separate tax system. That agenda, driven by Willie Jackson and John Tamahiri, funded through Parliament, because the guy who led the hikoi was a parliamentary employee, all laid bare.
Yeah, it's outrageous stuff. And I would have thought, with a party which refuses to acknowledge the rights of Parliament to call their members to account, I'd be inclined to say, look, if you're not willing to submit to the rules of Parliament, get out. I mean, how can you have a party in Parliament, a small one at that, telling the rest of the Parliament how they should run the place? I mean, it's outrageous.
Look, the other thing is New Zealand First won't support this Seymour bill, the Treaty Principles bill either.
No, that's bizarre, I think, because Winston actually historically has had quite a good record on the whole question of what the treaty means. And he has, in his coalition agreement with National, a commitment to remove references to the principle of the treaty from umpteen different laws. That process hasn't started yet. That will kick up Bobsy Die again. I mean, that is at least as difficult, I would have thought, to do as what David Seymour's been trying to do. So I can't understand quite why Winston he's dancing on the head of a pin by saying, well, there are no principles. Well, okay, all Seymour was trying to say was, well, this is what the treaty means. Call it what you like. So I don't understand New Zealand First's position other than sort of trying to differentiate themselves from ACT.
Surely in a real democracy, and an issue as fundamental as this, Mr. Peters and Mr. Luxon would give their MPs a free vote on it, a conscience vote.
Yeah, they should. They should. It is a constitutional issue, and I suspect if they did get a conscience vote, the bill would pass overwhelmingly, with many Labour MPs supporting it too.
Do you think Mr. Luxon has a problem with wokeness, Don?
Well, he clearly does. He's reluctant to say anything which is not woke, it seems to me. But I don't understand why the rest of his caucus put up with that.
Well, maybe there's no one better than him, or they are all woke.
Well, there's certainly a significant number of National Party MPs, sadly, who are much more woke than I am. Now, what do we mean by woke? I mean, it's a term which defies a definition to some extent. But yes, you're right. There are a number of National Party MPs who are much more concerned about trying to avoid offending anybody than they are sort of taking the truth.
What do you think this means for the National Party that they won't take a strong... I mean, they campaigned on getting New Zealand back on track. And I think Chris Luxon has defined that down to economically and is really willfully, apart from taking a position on Benjamin Doyle, which was a no-brainer even for a clothier politician like Chris Luxon, it seems to me he's not really interested in what we might call the wider cultural issues facing New Zealand. He has decided to be purely about economics, and other than that, he's drunk the Kool-Aid.
I think that's right, and I suspect that in the election, David Seymour will make a lot of that. I mean, he'll campaign on saying, we want the Treaty Principles Bill in law with the referendum following it. And if he does campaign on that strongly, I suspect the ACT vote will rise substantially at National's cost.
What about New Zealand First? They're playing in the same space, aren't they?
Well, yes, they are, and that's why it's sort of bizarre. I mean, one of the senior New Zealand First ministers, of course, is Casey Costello, and I know Casey very well indeed. She was a co-spokesperson with me for Hobson's Pledge for a number of years, and she believes as passionately as I do that all New Zealanders should have the same political rights. And yet, of course, she's part of the New Zealand First caucus, and she has to do what Winston wants.
Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a sun view? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a sun view is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with Sunview and see the difference.